Day one learning speaking English. World Tourism Day. World Tourism Day on 27 September is about deciding the tourism we want for the future. That means thinking not just about the economy, but also about the impact on people and the planet. Every year on 27 September, the United Nations World Tourism Day is celebrated. It began in 1980, and the event is hosted by a different country or group of countries every year. On World Tourism Day, the United Nations calls for investment in people and the planet, not just economic productivity. Why do we need World Tourism Day? It may seem curious that tourism has its own special day, but maybe it's not so surprising when you think of the enormous number of people employed in this sector. Tourism and travel is one of the world's biggest industries. Acco- According to 2019, 2019, 2019, 2019, 2019, research over 333 million people. That's about 1 in 10 working people worldwide were employed in tourism and travel. Now, this huge global industry is growing again after the pandemic, creating serious issue for people and the planet. How does tourism affect local people? With mass tourism, fascinating places are becoming overwhelmed by millions of tourists. Enormous tour bus block roads and make getting to school or work difficult for residents. International chains take over from local business, tourist apartments take over from ordinary housing, and rising price force local people out of their homes. Barcelona in Spain and Venice in Italy, Italy are two examples of places where the local population have demand that tourism is controlled more tightly. In Barcelona, regulations related to short-term rental accommodation were introduced to help local people have access in flats. In Venice, the number of large cruise liners entering the port is now controlled to protect the historic city and its natural environment from further damage. Local also complain about the huge crowds of cruise passengers who were putting pressure on the city resorts, but contributing little to the economy. Maybe tourism is the in the 2000 in the 21 first century will continue to be regulated to protect people and local environments. How does tourism affect the environment? Mass tourism is bad news for our planet too. The industry destroys natural habitats to build tourist facilities and consumes large amount of energy and natural resources such as land, soil, and water. Pollution is also a negative consequence of travel and tourism, including solid waste and sewage pollution, noise pollution, and air pollution. Carbon emission from tourism are more than 5% of global emission, and this figure is going up. The tourism and travel industry continues to contribute to the climate crisis. Can we be responsible tourists? Can we be responsible tourists? In the word of Bruce Puntip, producer of the documentary The Last Tourist, travel is a privilege, not a right. The last tourists encouraged to be conscientious customer when deciding where and how to travel. As tourists, we need to think more carefully about the impact of our choice. If we decide to stay at a beautiful resort, who is going to benefit from our money is the hotel owned by the people from the local community. And how can we minimize our contribution to pollution and climate change to protect the beautiful place we love to visit and the people who live in them? We need to rethink tourism and act responsibility. With my smartphone is locked. Okay, so pause a little bit. Okay, the International Day of Peace. The International Day of Peace is on 21 September. It's a day that aims to reduce violence and to strengthen the ideals of peace around the world. With so many people around the world suffering as a result of war and violence, the International Day of Peace is as important as ever. The special day, which was declared by United Nations in 1981, is observed on 21 September every year, the International Day of Peace at the United Nations. On International Peace Day, the United Nations asks for a 24-hour ceasefire of all hostilities around the world. It also asks people to observe 1 minute of silence at noon to honor victims of war and violence. The day began with the Peace Bell ceremony at the United Nations headquarters. Sorry, the Peace Bell was donated by the United Nations Association of Japan in June 1954 and is made of metal that includes coins contributed by people from 65 member of countries. The bell is a symbol of hope for peace, and is rung several times a year, including on International Peace Day. After the bell has been rung, the UN Secretary General delivers a message. The purpose of the International Day of Peace. The International Day of Peace is for commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace within the among all nations and people. Put simply, it aims to build a more peaceful world for everyone who lives in it. Peace affects almost every aspect of our life. Each year, the United Nations chooses a different theme for this special day. For example, end racism, build peace, or climate action for peace. This helps us to see that true peace can only be achieved when all people are treated equality, or what we must combat the climate emergency, which threatens all of our life. International Day of Peace event, as well as taking part in 1 minute silence at midday local time. People in cities, town, and village worldwide can get involved in many different events on this special day. This could be in the field of the arts with photography, film, music, or dance. It could be sport activities such as a football match or for beach, or it could be yoga, meditation, and prayer. Children and teenagers also take part in a wide range of activities related to peace and unity, often focusing on preventing school violence and bullying. International Day of Peace Online. With the internet and social media, there is a lot more awareness of International Peace Day than back in 1981. Social media posts sharing information, ideas, and peace messages reach millions of people all over the world, all over the globe. There are many online events which people can register for on the day, such as live show, conference, and workshop. What we can all do for peace. The International Day of Peace isn't just about ending international conflicts. It is also about changing our behavior towards each other and our environment. For example, we can try to bring peace to our personal life by saying sorry and making peace with someone we know. Individual action add up to great things when they are multiple by millions of people all over the planet, and we can all contribute to making the world a more peaceful place. The third part, mindfulness. So this is the third article I'm trying to practice speaking, yeah, this day. Mindfulness is a word we hear a lot these days. But what exactly does it mean? Find out what it is, what the benefit of mindfulness are, and how you can start to practice it. Have you ever driven somewhere and realized when you arrive that you couldn't really remember anything about the journey? Or have you ever eaten a whole packet of biscuit when you were planning to only have one? Or have you stayed much later than you planned, or even all night, watching just one more episode of a TV series? All of these are examples of mindlessness. When we live this way, we are not fully awake and not fully living our lives. What exactly is mindfulness? When we are mindful, we are more conscious of our our action, and what is happening around us. We might notice a beautiful sunset or really listen carefully to what a friend is saying rather than planning what we are going to say next. What we're going to say next. We are also more aware of our own feelings and our thought, thought, thought. John Kabat-Zinn, who has done a lot of make mindfulness popular, say mindfulness is paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without judging. So we are consciously deciding what to pay attention to. We are not worrying too fast. We are not worrying about the past or planning for the future. And we are not trying to control or stop our thought or feelings. We just notice them. Why is mindfulness so popular now? For most people, life is getting busier and busier. Technology means that we always have something to do, and there isn't much opportunity to just be. People are often doing two or three things at the same time, texting while watching TV or even looking at their phones while walking along the pavement. People are working longer hours and bringing work home. All this can make us stressed, and mindfulness can be a way of reducing this stress. What are the benefits of mindfulness? Research show that mindfulness reduces stress and depression. It can help you to concentrate, have a better memory, and to think more clearly. It can also help people to manage pain better and to improve their sleep. And it can even help you lose weight because you won't eat that whole packet of biscuit without thinking. How to become more mindful. Mindfulness Day is celebrated on 12th September. So maybe that would be a good day to try a few mindfulness techniques and see if they make a difference. But of course, you can try this on a day of the year. A very simple technique that could try right now is to close your eyes for a couple of minutes and count how many sounds you can hear. This will help to focus on to blah, blah, blah. This will help to focus you on what is happening right now. Another technique is focus on a piece of food, typically a raisin, instead of eating it without thinking. Slow down, look carefully at it, and notice how it feels in your finger. Smell it, then put it on your tongue and taste it. Only then start to eat it slowly, noticing how it feels and how it tastes. Both of these techniques force you to slow down and focus on the present moment. and there are plenty of other ideas you can find online if you want to try mindfulness for yourself. So this is day one practice speaking.